Welcome to the Paradigm Shift, episode 99. Wow! Talk about consistency. One more to 100, baby. We got a special guest on today, and it's CLS Live in less than 1 hour. We're hosting our second ever live event. We have people flying in from all across the world, including England. We have dynamic guest speakers. We're going to get so crazy. Waiting for Big Dave. I see you, who's dialing in from the Super Bowl. And then we got a real special guest speaker coming on, Big Shawn. Dave, I'm bringing you on right now, you Super Bowl sexy spaghetti eating son of a gun. See you live. Super Bowl. Let's get bananas.
I flew home. I got to be with Miles.
Oh, okay.
I got to be with Miles. You got it, man.
Priority.
But I've been to plenty. I was there all week, so we had a great time. I got to hang out. You know, it's a reunion for me. So there's some really special moments and special people that I ran into, and it's amazing. You know, as I continue to try to impact and empower, it's so nice to see as you're having your second live event and everyone coming in from all around for the Super Bowl. So many Craig Siegels are out there, and you have no idea. My favorite one was the running back for the Dolphins, Alec Ingold, who's from Wisconsin, where my daughter goes to college. And him and his fiance, he tells me, I owe you a dinner. I got to take you out to dinner. So I said, look, I want to go to the Chuck Box in Tempe, Arizona, which is a hole-in-the-wall hamburger place, probably one of my favorite restaurants from when I played. And you probably don't even know this. I played adult baseball, wood bat, and I have 4 World Series rings for playing adult baseball, over 40, over 45, and over 50. I've won each in the World Series in each of those sections. But when I was playing, you get to play in the minor league stadiums at Tempe Diablo Stadium, where the championship was. I found this hole in the wall hamburger spot that's still there. I think it was built in the 50s. But Alec and I went there, and you're going to love this, Craig. He tells me, Dave, you've impacted my life so much. You gave me a book, and here it is. He has all these notes and sticky notes, and he said, and your book inspired me, and I wrote a book myself, and I wanted to bring you to dinner to give you the book, and it's published by Wiley, and John Gordon as well helped him write the book. He has a little testimonial in there, and it's called The 7 Crucibles, and I'm thinking to myself, my life is mirroring itself, and as you're coming out with your book with Wiley, it's going to be an incredible blessing to me, and to elevate, you know, Justin, Colleen, all the people that work with me, to see them doing what I did 20 years ago, just is heartwarming. And as much as all that's great and sound, I can't wait to sit on the couch. Miles played. I came home last night. We took a special plane home so I could get to his football game. They're coming in for the winning score. He picked it off and went the other way on the 2-yard line, 98 yards. He's a superstar. So that was way better than even watching the Eagles beat up on the Chiefs.
Yeah, first of all, I love everything you said. Thank you. Thank you for being you. You're in a little bit of your feels today, and I love when you're like this. Big mushy teddy bear, one of my favorite versions of you. Hell yeah to all of it. Acknowledgement to Miles. No surprise there, but we are proud of him. In fact, let's all give Miles some love in the chats. And it's got to take a lot for you to replace on Saturday morning's Paradigm Shift your blessed hat with the Eagles hat.
Yeah, well, a couple of things. Number one, Dave, my 2 favorite teams, you know, I got my Chargers shirt on. That's my favorite team. And my second favorite team is whoever's playing the Chiefs. And so that's one reason. But I also sit on the board of an extraordinary company called Life Brand, and they're the title sponsor of the Eagles. And I waited to come to the Eagles NFC Championship game in the Life Brand Club. And so my NFC team is the Eagles, and whoever's playing the Chiefs. So to that end, fly, birds, fly, 31-27 victory today. Patrick Mahomes is going to come down. Hear me out on this. Patrick Mahomes is going to come down. He's going to be losing 31-27, and he's going to choke. And it'll be the best branding moment of his life because we all get to see the great winner, the great competitor, the MVP that Patrick Mahomes is. but you also are going to get to see the great humility of Patrick Mahomes, and his greatest moment will be the one Super Bowl that he ends up screwing up and could have winning. But there's plenty of Super Bowls in this kid's future, unfortunately for the Chargers. But his greatest moment will be how he handles this loss when he chokes.
I love that perspective. And also, like, pain is the portal, right? You got to go through that so you can bounce back and have a story to tell and showcase that. But also, I'm so preoccupied in all the things we have going on. I'm not as invested as I typically am in the Super Bowl, but of course I'm going to watch it. But isn't the NFL in good hands with these two teams?
Oh, yeah. If you could be, the inside of the Super Bowl is something called Radio Row. And it's a big reunion of the legends in the game. And if you saw, the NBA changed the date of their All-Star game because they didn't want to compete with the NFL. The NFL has so many philanthropic efforts, so many corporate sponsors, so many entertainers, billionaires, entrepreneurs. Gary and I got together yesterday, and I was eating my Ike's Austin Eckler steak sandwich, and it was so nice. Gary's like, Dave, you can't keep eating this shit. I thought you want to live a long time. I thought that was awesome. So I'm getting nutrition advice from Gary now, not just social media advice. And we're going to be working on VCon together. I cannot wait to be a part of that, and hopefully we can get Eagle there himself, Craig Siegel, the Eagle fan. It was so much fun. There's just so many things why the NFL. Did you know that they have a 10-year deal now in Europe? They're going to have so many more games in Germany. There was, for the one game in Germany, do you know how many people wanted tickets that signed up for tickets? 3 million. 3 million people wanted to go to that game. Insane. Can you imagine the popularity around the world? If you have understated, I will tell you 2 understatements. 1, the NFL is in good hands, and 2, Craig Siegel is in good hands.
That's where we dropped the mic, but we're just getting warmed up. Love all this. I'm going to bring on our special guest today, who I'm really excited to connect with. I know you're very close with.
He's more than sexy, man. I got 2 best friends, and they're both here now, so this is great. Look how handsome this guy is, though. He's like 65 years old. Look how handsome he is. He's incredible. He's probably down in Mexico. Oh, there he is. Oh, my goodness.
Shawn, how you doing, brother? Thank you for joining us.
Craig Siegel, the Eagle. This is such a treat to be with you. Oh, my gosh. I had to sit here and endure all of Dave's little monologue here to get us popping, but it's so great to see you again. Last time I saw you, we were in New York. Dave was, of course, eating as usual. Nobody was there to give him any nutrition advice, and so he got a little out of hand, but it's awesome to be with you.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Wait. Before we get started,
let's get right to it.
Why did I not get an invite to Cabo? That's my question. I'm sitting here, right? Why did I get the invite? I invite you to everything. You say no to like 90% of my invitations. Did I hurt Lacey's feelings for some reason? What's going on?
I knew that. You know what's funny? I knew that was actually going to be the first question today. So I just got to out you, Dave. We do get tons of invites, and Lacey and I are eternally grateful to you and Julie. Usually, the invites come like 10 days prior to when we need to be somewhere. And the last invite, honestly, was you got to check out this place in Cabo. And what happens is then I tell Lacey, babe, Dave and Julie want us to go to Cabo. It's an amazing place. Then she looks it up, and then she's like, we got to go later when we can actually go. So we just follow, Dave and Julie around, kind of living their lives vicariously, probably, on like a 6-month delay. Wait for my book coming out. Wait for my new book coming out with Wiley.
I'm going to write a book called 6-Month Delay, and it's a.
This is too good. Let's get right to it. First of all,
Shawn, you're going to be on the show. You got to practice the Craig Siegel move. Here's what you do. And now, yeah, dude.
I'm holding my post.
Okay, let's get started, Craig.
Yeah, and for the audience that may not be familiar with Shawn, please do a deep dive. Check out all the amazing stuff he has going on. What I think is most valuable is we just have an unbelievable conversation. I was checking out Shawn's content, as everybody should immediately, and I saw you write this, and it's so much fun to talk about, but I think people don't really understand it, Shawn. Dive in a little bit. Sometimes we just need a reminder of all the abundance that is out there. Tell us more.
Oh my gosh. Well, that's something that my wife, beautiful wife, Lacey, talks to me about a lot. You know, I think so many people, we live in the state of lack. You know, I'm very inspired by, you know, Dave made this shift from 1 billion people to over a billion people. One of the things I think that happens when you're still fresh in the beginning of the year, a lot of us have in mind goals. And so we'll tell ourselves like, you know, I want to do $5 million in revenue this year. What we don't realize is even just setting goals, even when we're trying to be abundant, that can oftentimes be limiting, right? We have to be open to the overflow that is available to us. And so using terms like over 5 million is useful. But even then, what happens is as soon as we think, right, we have a thought, we create the route, we create a plan. Always. If I said, Craig, you should meet me in Cabo, let's leave Dave back. Right then, you start to create a plan. You think flights, you think, right, and you create the route. That route actually can become limiting because what it's going to do is it's going to get you to Cabo. It's not going to get you to anything above that. And I think that through life, we should constantly pause and look at the overflow. You know, and this is something, think about this. I was with Lacey the other day and I was like, she was teaching me about overflow and I was like, you know what's crazy? We are taught always to never overflow. You fill your cup just short of full. You would never overflow your cup. I wouldn't say, Craig, let me pour you a glass of wine and just pour it right over the cup.
And then you'll
would be
spill the wine everywhere.
Ask
Patrick bet David on his white carpet.
That is true. That is true. But I think that we need to be conscious of the abundance, and we need to be open to overflow. Let's not limit ourselves.
Yeah, I mean, look.
Go ahead, Dave.
In the idea of abundance, you're studying an infinite thought system, and you know, when you start realizing even over 1 billion, you still have coordinates that are called milestones that can create resistance or limitations. And when you can understand, I think one of the greatest things that you said to Shawn is, you know, most people probably don't get this yet, and we don't get it yet. We're constantly, Shawn and I, as truly very best friends, we're always challenging each other's stuff because nobody gets us, and we're at a level where like, shit, like, yeah, that's right. And then the overflow leads me to the system of infinite thoughts, and it's a unified system of infinite thought. And I mean, this is stuff that I'm studying in ancient texts in the Bhagavad Gita when they talk about how this overflow works and how then important these milestones or points of reference in the unified thought system allow us to create a trajectory. And the trajectory needs to be learned upon and recreated or co-created every day. But the idea of resistance at its core is created anytime we make a thought in the unified thought system relative to either space or time. And the quantification of space and time would be, you know, over 1 billion people in my lifetime. You know, as much as that sounds like a very abundant idea, it's still not in overflow. It still has challenges to work within a unified thought system and be able to effectuate an infinite unified thought system and study it with coordinates of trajectory aligned. And this is where the pragmatic aspects come in. You still have to align your overflow with what the hell is important to you, right? Personally, it makes no sense if you're on a journey in a pragmatic world of time and space, and if you're not making it relative to your pragmatic world of time and space, then you might as well not be in this world of time and space.
Yeah, this is so good. And I love how you guys are putting such an emphasis on like neural pathways and cognitive behavior, because the stuff that we say to ourselves matters. And this kind of reminds me of something else I was going to ask Shawn. And I saw him saying something along the lines of, the word should is the most disempowering word in the entire English alphabet, but it's a similar concept, right? We're limiting ourselves by putting our thoughts or potential in a box.
100%. Words do matter, and at the same time, words don't matter. What's funny is, and I would say, um, thoughts matter more than words, because look, I could say whatever I want now. What really deeply matters is what's going on inside of my mind, right? And not my brain, but my mind, right? The abstract mind, the thoughts that control the outcome. I mean, the world is just a mere reflection of the thoughts that I create, right? So, I mean, we've all had that happen. We wake up negative, and maybe everybody around us is positive, and we can very quickly shift that energetic, field to where everybody starts to be negative, and you begin to wonder. I wonder if they're actually negative, or if that's just the reflection that I'm now receiving back. And let me tell you the reason why I say that, because when I was in my 20s, I had to I didn't have to. I moved to Costa Rica, and I had to learn another language. I learned Spanish. And that's when you begin to realize, the communicative nature of words that we use. So words do matter as long as we're all on the same energetic wavelength. As long as we understand English, then my words matter to you because you understand it. But if I were to switch into Spanish or Arabic or some other language, those words actually lose their context and their meaning. But you know what does not go away are your thoughts. And people always ask that. Check this out. If you're bilingual, people always ask, well, do you dream or do you think in that other language? And I think that's something to really consider. I mean, for all of us, like, well, do you dream and think in English, or is that just the interpretation of the thoughts? So any thoughts that are limiting to you, like I should do that, I could do that, I could be that, that should have been me, those are, as Dave was saying, resistance points to you and your full potential, your full expression of what life was meant to be. I think that should really, what it is it's like this interference that occurs between man, the physical, and your full outward expression, because we should ourselves into all the things that we would have, could have, or should have been.
Dave, I totally get why you.
Yeah, my problem is now I'm gonna have to take another plane down to Cabo because I have to finish this conversation, and I need like 3 or 4 days to unpack all the goddamn wisdom that this good-looking 65-year-old has. He's amazing. But even more important, no, I just lied. Okay, anyway, look, there's several things to unpack. One, let me take a step back to simplify it to some people. Where this all starts is understanding the two pieces of interference that most people create within the context of saying should, or some of these other relative things in our life. It's really simple. If we can get into the practice of identifying the energy that creates resistance to our past, which is in the context of what we're doing, saying, thinking, and believing, and most of all, the highest is how we feel, right? We shouldn't listen to our thoughts. We should talk to the infinite system of unified thought, right? We shouldn't listen to thoughts. We should talk to it. We should do to it. We should say and believe and feel to it. But more importantly, there's only one thing, the only interference is something you could identify, and it's regret, right? Which should falls into that category. So if you can identify any regrets that are tied to guilt or any shame, blame, justification, it's just, I regret something in the past, that then you're creating interference. And then of course, anxiety is what interferes with your future. And that has many subsets or defined thoughts that people create and need to be right, offended, separate, whatever it may be. In that context, we have to feel. And that's what we really remember, remind, and recollect with is the emotion, the energy emotion that's created by what we do, say, think, believe, that creates this feeling. And the feeling is truly what sticks with us. And to that context, I think it's really important for people to identify interference, but also to know that we have this unlimited capability that can be utilized most effectively by clearing it, by talking to it, not listening to it. And so whatever language it comes to you in, or whatever language we interpret it as, in the end, the more emotion that is in the trajectory or an accelerant in our life, then the faster we're going to do. See, the universe is real simple. It only does three things. It aggregates, it compounds, and accelerates. And all three have extreme pragmatic impact on your life. And so if we emotionally aggregate the progress that we want, or the positivity that we want, it will compound on itself, which gives you much better exponential results. and it will accelerate on itself, which makes it happen faster, which gives us better feeling. So make sure that you understand the 3 properties of emotion, but also understand the 2 interferences of emotions, the past emotions and the future emotions, and you will have a greater impact on your own life and on other people's lives.
This is so good because, Dave, we don't create abundance.
Right.
We actually create limitations, right? Guys, I have to ask this nugget. I have one final nugget, otherwise I'm going to be late to my own event. But I was so excited to ask Shawn this one. I was looking at it, and it really hit home for me because there's so many people that help others or coach others or mentor others. And I think there's a misconception, right? Because when someone's coming up and they want to be where somebody else is, you don't do what they're doing now because that's not where you are. And the way Shawn said it was emulate the trajectory. And I just thought that was so beautiful, brother. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, the mantra here is emulate the trajectory, not the destination. We see people all the time that are where we want to be. And so, you know, they're on Radio Row, they have a book, they have lots of friends. So you think, well, look, I want to be like Dave. I'm going to get on a plane. I'm going to Phoenix. I'm going to be at the Super Bowl. I'm going to be just like Dave. But you need to ask yourself, when Dave was where I am today, I need to go to him and say, what were you doing then? Because otherwise I'm just emulating the destination. I might not have the context, the knowledge base, the wisdom, all of the experiences that he has that I need to accumulate. Here's what's great about mentorship. Working with someone like Dave helps you to create leverage. Leverage gets you there faster. So I'm not saying that it will take you the same amount of time. We can short circuit the continuum through knowledge and leverage, but we can't just jump right into being someone that we're not. We're going to have to read the books and have the experience and the knowledge base that will get us there. Emulate the trajectory. Ask your mentors, when you were where I am today, what were you doing? And not the destination. The destination will play itself out.
Yeah. Oh, I just love this guy so much. And, you know, I think part of it is showing up to learn those things. And, you know, I do a lot of traveling, and it's amazing how many people, and all kidding aside, Craig Siegel shows up, Shawn Dill, Dr. Lacey Book, they show up. And, you know, I'm very confident. As much as I'm joking around about Cabo, I may fly down there just to show up. And whether or not they appreciate me sleeping on their couch, I don't care. I'll show up and I'll learn the trajectory of one of my mentors, Shawn Dill, sitting in a situation that I want to be in. And I love that, emulating the trajectory. It's so interesting because I saw a video of our friend Jeff Fenster. And, you know, this happens I probably mentored guys like Kropko and Fenster, you know, since they were teenagers. And Fenster was doing his video, you know, as he's back from, you know, whatever he's done to Everbowl. And he's out there, you know, attention plus intention equals coincidence, right? And I get so many pings from people going, that mofo is copying, like, and I go, whoa, whoa, whoa. No, he's not. First of all, he's emulating the trajectory, and he's learned something that I live by. And if everybody out there was telling everyone attention plus intention equals coincidence, that's my mission in life. What is my mission in life? To empower others, to be happy. In my opinion, if you want to be happy, you better learn how to create the coincidences you want, not the coincidences you don't want or coincidences other people you want. So a lot of the emulation, when you are farther along at a base camp above people trying to help them, I find people get offended when they're actually emulating the trajectory instead of feeling grateful that they're emulating the trajectory. So there's all types of nuances of the different base camps that people are at. I will tell you, just to finish up, 2 things. One, this amazing, I've never had, Shawn's at a base camp ahead of me in several things in his life. All he tells me is, Dave, you can do it. Here, show up here. Let me show you how to do it. You can do it better than me and faster than me. You can do it. People below me, Dave, you can do it. Rah, rah, applause. The only people that say I can't do it are ones that are below me, that have never done it themselves. No one that's done it already tells me I can't do it. So make sure you identify where people are at as well when they're emulating the trajectory or you're emulating their trajectory, because they can create resistance as well. But I have to share this real quick. Best takeaway of the Super Bowl. Listen to this line, Shawn. You're not going to sleep tonight. You ready? I met with Bob Parsons, the founder of GoDaddy. He's in his 70s. And he said to me, he said, David, you know, if you love what you do, and I'm thinking, oh, great, he's going to give me the same, you'll never work a day in your life, right? I'm like, come on, man, you're better than this. That's not what he said. He said, if you love what you do, if you can learn to love what you do, it will tell you all its secrets. Sleep on that, mofos, because that's amazing, deep shit right there. Go learn all the secrets. It'll make all the difference in your life. I'm going to whisper my secrets to Shawn tonight when I snuggle up against him in Cabo. Just go ahead, text me the location. I'll be there, buddy. Send my love to Lacey.
You know where I am. You know where I am. I'm where you were. And just real quick, Dave, just a reminder, the Super Bowl's tomorrow. I don't want you sitting on the couch this afternoon with Mom.
Yeah, no, I know.
Earlier
I'm
you said it was
today. The number one way to stay present with your child. But I'm going to be with my child. That's my main goal. I got it.
I love you both. Thank you so much for joining us. This was time really well spent. I'm better for it. I know our listeners are too. Thank you.
Yeah, we love you. Good luck on your event, Craig. I love you. I'll be there later today. Be careful, Shawn, what you wish for. Love you. Bye.
Love you guys. The Paradigm Shift episode 99 in the books. We'll be back next week at a special time for episode 100. I'm just going to take a second and soak that in. Episode 100. 100 weeks in a row. No weeks off. Christmas, New Year's, all of that. Why am I taking that in? What's the message for all of you? Consistency is a superpower. Marry the process, divorce the outcome, and look what you can build. Who would have ever thought? Actually, Dave and I did. We love you guys so much. CLS Live in 2 minutes. I gotta go take a shower and get ready